ومريم ابنة عمران التي أحصنت فرجها فنفخنا فيه من روحنا وصدقت بكلمات ربها وكتبه وكانت من القانتين.
We begin with the name of Allah, the most beneficent, the most merciful, the great name that is used to begin all things and is used to end all things. Welcome to your show again. It is The Virtuous Woman, your program, our program. The Virtuous Woman, another episode, and I am your host, Bushro Olagunju. Today on the program, we are going to be talking about a very sensitive, important, and very serious matter. Did I just use all those qualifications? Because the topic is one that calls for attention. It calls for your rapt attention. You cannot afford to get distracted at this point in the program. But just before we go in, let me just tell you, the topic for today is abortion, the meaning, the Islamic ruling on it, and the dangers. I'm sure you would agree with me that it's really a very sensitive topic. But before we go on, let's join me and my guest in the house after this short break.
إن المسلمين والمسلمات والمؤمنين والمؤمنات والقانتين والقانتات والصادقين والصادقات والصابرين والصابرات والخاشعين والخاشعات والمتصدقين والمتصدقات والصائمين والصائمات والحافظين فروجهم والحافظات والذاكرين الله كثيرا والذاكرات أعد الله لهم مغفرة وأجرا عظيما.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome aboard. If you are just joining us, it's your program, our program, The Virtuous Woman. And today's episode is going to be treating a societal issue. I want to put it that way because it has continued to become something that the society really has to take care of. And that is why on this program, The Virtuous Woman, we have brought to you the topic, abortion, the meaning, the Islamic rulings, and the danger. Like I said before we left, we have an educationist in the house, and like you all know, that educationists are the ones who build the future of tomorrow. They are the one who builds the nation. And today, one of such people are here today to talk to us on this topic. Join me as I welcome to the studio Hajia Amina Abdul Sattar. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.
Assalamu wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Welcome, ma. How is work and how is the family?
Alhamdulillah, and yours too?
Alhamdulillah, we are all fine. Thank you, ma, for joining us on this episode of the program.
Thank you.
We are glad to always have you around. Today's topic, like I told my viewers at home, is a very sensitive one. Abortion. In fact, almost every child on the streets knows what it is. Why is abortion so sensitive as a topic of discourse?
Now, Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen, we give thanks to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the one who makes life. He gives life and he takes life. We are discussing abortion, a topic which is very sensitive, as you have said.
Very sensitive.
It is of importance that we discuss it because today people go into it irrationally. You find people getting pregnancies aborted for reasons that are questionable.
Without even thinking about it.
People want to enjoy their life, have sex, but without responsibility. And when the aftermath of having sex comes, they feel they are not ready. So they go into abortion. So that is why, as a Muslim, we need to understand what are the Islamic rulings. Does it call for any punishable acts?
Okay.
When you go into abortion sometimes? When is abortion necessary or allowed in Islam? When is it not allowed? These are issues or areas we want to look into on the topic.
Thank you, Ma. You have really helped me because you have broken down the perspective to which you'll be treating the topic from. So why don't you just go ahead and tell us what the Islamic rulings on abortion is all about?
To start with, we need to know the meaning of abortion.
Okay.
And with me, I have two working definitions.
Okay.
The first one is abortion has to do with expulsion or removal of a pregnancy, an embryo, or a fetus at a stage when it is incapable of independent survival. That is a definition. But to any layman, we can say abortion means a medical operation that is carried out to end a pregnancy so that the baby is not born alive.
As simple as it
As
sounds.
simple as that.
Okay.
Now, however, abortion can be in two ways. There is that spontaneous abortion. That is an abortion that comes on its own free will. The woman does not have a control over it. Maybe, for instance, the woman slept and by the time she wakes up, she found out that she was bleeding. And eventually, the pregnancy got terminated. That is a spontaneous one, the one that comes involuntarily. It was not intentional. Okay. Again, abortion can be intentional. A pregnant woman can decide, I want to get rid of this pregnancy. But in two ways. One is allowed, one is not allowed. Okay. The first one is when a woman decides that due to her health, her life is in danger and she needs to terminate this pregnancy so as to save her life. So hence-wise it is allowed. The other one that is not allowed is when a teenager who has been enjoying free sex eventually gets impregnated and she now remembers that, oh, I'm a secondary school girl. Oh, I've just entered into the institution. My parents shouldn't know about this. So I want to get it terminated. That is not allowed, of course, but it is another form of abortion. It is a criminal abortion, so it's not allowed. No. Now, going to the rulings on abortion. The first one is that we have said abortion is termination of a pregnancy. And Islam allows it. One, if the termination is to save the life of the mother. In Islam, there is a principle known as the principle of taking recourse to the lesser evil. The Prophet Islam says when there are two evils, you take the lesser one.
That's true. Here
is a scenario. A woman that is carrying a pregnancy. At a particular point in time, the pregnancy becomes threatening to the life of the mother, endangering the life of the mother.
Okay.
So, we are put in between two options. Either to save the life of the mother or to save the life of the child that is yet to be born.
At the expense of the mother.
At the expense of the mother.
Okay.
Of course, both of them are evil. To terminate the two lives. So the Islam now says, why don't you look for a lesser evil, which is, of course, saving the life of the mother, who may probably have some other children she needs to tend to,
take care of,
and then getting rid of the one that is yet to born. So if abortion is done on the fact that it endangers the life of the mother, it is allowed.
Okay.
Scholars generally agree to that it can be done. Secondly is that it is also agreed that when the fetus has a congenital disorder that are threatening to life or that are not compatible with life, that abortion can be done. However, some scholars caution that human knowledge is limited.
That's true.
Sometimes you feel something is congenital, is dangerous, and Allah SWT may eventually perform miracle. And that another point is that Allah SWT has a way of disposing unwanted pregnancies or pregnancies that are dangerous. Sometimes such pregnancies, Allah SWT do it in such a way that the child will be born as a stillbirth. That is, taking the life even before the child is born. Or that the mother, as soon as she gives birth to such a child, the child will give up immediately. So that it does not cause any sorrow, any problem
for
to the
parents.
mother, because of the problem associated with his birth. So the scholar said, if, however, it is found that maybe through scan or whatever that the child has some congenital disorders, that abortion can take place. Third one, however, is that jurists, however, disagree as to the issue of going through abortion for the first 4 months of pregnancy. That is, from day 1 to the 4th month of pregnancy.
Whatever the case may be.
Whatever the case may be.
Okay.
So, there is a disagreement. There are some scholars, they feel that doing abortion for the first 4 months of the month is allowed, of the pregnancy is allowed, because they feel that there is no destruction made, because the fetus is not yet a human, that the ensoulment had not been done, because just as the medical doctors say, and as we found in the hadith of the Prophet that says, at the 4th month, that Allah SWT breathed in, and this is what medical doctors refer to as quickening of the embryo. That is when you find the fetus moving, the movements. So some feel that since that has not been done, it can be allowed. But majority of scholars disagree that even sperm, starting from sperm, because life starts from the sperm, that the sperm itself is a life. That now taking or getting rid of a child, a fetus, in between the 1st day of life and the 4th month is taking or killing the life of a particular soul.
Now, from that angle that you have just talked, it means that there are some abortions that are allowed in Islam, and there are some that are not allowed. But this one that we are really looking at now, you have told us the meanings and the Islamic rulings. In the case of the lesser evil, the one that has to do with the mother and the child, is it allowed in Islam that the mother would choose to, allow the baby to live at the expense of her own life? Would that be?
That's on the very rare cases. And realistically, in most cases, the mother is not even there to decide. It's the father that will be there. Because even at that moment, the mother may not be conscious. So the husband will have to decide. When he is informed about the situation, this is the critical situation where the doctor tells him, which one do we do? And of course, the most reasonable thing is that you save the life that is existing for the one that is yet to be born.
Okay. With the way you have put it down now, it looks a very beautiful plan. With the way Islam has put it, abortion is allowed in this case, it is not allowed. But the way it is in the society now, it has really become a very messy concept. Why is it that way?
Well, like I said before, that people want to have sex, but they want to do it at the detriment of being responsible. They want to enjoy themselves, make love, make sex, but not knowing, because definitely when you have fun, something will come out of it, Allah's willing. But they don't want that, and that is why they go into it without thinking of the aftermath. And when eventually the aftermath comes, which is pregnancy, they feel we are not ready for that. They feel I'm too young for that. They feel this is sort of going to be disturbing to my life. And so they want to get rid of it. And you find out that today, because of this, so many people are perpetrating sin. Even though Allah SWT has told us that La takrabu zina, so that we should not move near zina. But today we are doing it, and yet we don't want to take responsibility for it. So that is why people feel that the shortest way out is for them to get rid of it, even when it comes. So though some people try to prevent it, but Allah works miraculously. Even despite so many things, people must have used pills, injections, and so many other things, yet Allah sometimes sustains the pregnancy. And they themselves see it as, but why is it possible?
It's very confusing.
Very confusing. How come? Despite everything I've used to terminate this thing is still growing. Because that is how Allah wants it. So people who do it indiscriminately is not allowed in Islam. So Islam does not give us that license to go about doing abortion, but on important reasons, for important reasons, Islam allows it. So if it has to do with making a choice between the life of the mother and of course the child that is yet to be born.
Thank you very much. Like I said, we are still coming back to the causes and the dangers of abortion in our society. If you are just joining us, it's The Virtuous Woman. Join us after this short break.
ولا تقربوا الزنا إنه كان فاحشة وساء سبيلا ولا تقتلوا النفس التي حرم الله إلا بالحق ومن قتل مظلوما فقد جعلنا لوليه سلطانا فلا يسرف في القتل إنه كان منصورا ولا تقربوا مال اليتيم إلا بالتي هي أحسن حتى يبلغ أشده وأوفوا بالعهد إن العهد كان مسؤولا وأوفوا الكيل إذا كلتم وزنوا بالقسطاس المستقيم ذلك خير وأحسن تأويلا ولا تقف ما ليس لك به علم إن السمع والبصر والفؤاد كل أولئك كان عنه مسؤولا ولا تمش في الأرض مرحا إنك لن تخرق الأرض ولن تبلغ الجبال طولا كل ذلك كان سيئه عند ربك مكروها.
Welcome aboard. I'm still your host, Bushra Olaguju, and it's a time out with Hajiya Amina Abdul Sattar on the topic abortion, the meaning, the Islamic ruling, and the dangers. Just before we went on the break the other time, I was about asking, of course, before the issue of the pregnancy comes about in the first instance, it has to be something that has happened between two people. Of course, the man and the woman, or the boy and the girl, as we have it in our society. Now, these causes, I want you to streamline it. Which is the fault of the parents? Which is the fault of the girl child or the male child? Or in highlighting the causes of abortion, is there any way the society or the government has played any role?
Yes. Okay. Thank you so much. On that, you see, the parents has a major role to play. For in Islam, parenting is very, very important. When you give birth to a child, you have to educate and train the child and nurse the child to an extent that you yourself will feel satisfied and fulfilled. But nowadays, what you find out is that you find parents just giving birth to children, neglecting the aspect of training and educating. That is one. Two is that maybe due to poverty, the economic situation of the country, you find out some parents exhorting or encouraging their children to go into fornication or having sex with men. Even though they do not want the child to get pregnant, but at least go if the man can take care of you.
Of course, from whatever it is he will give you, you can terminate the pregnancy and move on with your life.
If only we can get something to sustain ourselves through that means. So you even find out that parents contribute to the issue of free love or free sex by way of, for instance, there are some parents that go to the extent of buying some vulgar dresses for their children to wear. Indecent dressing. Provocative dressing. Such that the child feels that is the right thing. And of course, for every action there is a reaction. When she puts it on, there are of course the customers outside. And most girls innocently fall into the hands of these boys. And there are some boys, even when they make love with someone, they give them pills immediately because they know what they are doing. But most of these girls, out of their own ignorance, they take it, feeling that, of course, it's going to prevent them from getting pregnant. But if eventually pregnancy comes, they feel threatened. And of course, they feel the only way out is for them to escape through abortion. And of course, our government cannot be left out. Because, you see, what our children see, what they hear, what they listen to on the television and on the radio affects them. Because nowadays, you see, our government trying to sponsor or advertise condom, the use of condom. Of course, they want these girls to enjoy themselves.
Protect themselves.
But they say protect yourself through condom. But the question I ask is, does condom prevent pregnancy?
In actual fact,
it doesn't. So it is a way of deception. I think the best time, sometimes when they say ABC, the best way to prevent pregnancy or AIDS is to avoid it. So why don't we go all out to tell our guests to restrain themselves, to be more disciplined, to tell our boys to sip up until they are ready to carry responsibility. They want to enjoy, but they don't want to carry the responsibility. The girls as well too want to enjoy. So we need to work together. The parents, the government, the teachers, we need to work together to assist our youths because, of course, they are the future of this country. So we must make them to understand how to go about carrying themselves.
Taking it up from there, you have told us the causes and how everybody has their own bit of the problem that occurs out of it. Now, we know that the problem here is the abortion itself now. Yes. The act is rampant, it's everywhere. What are the dangers that abortion causes? Thank you.
The first danger in abortion is that determined pregnancy can lead to infection if the materials used are not sterilized. So the second one is that it could lead to an hemorrhage, which is an uncontrolled bleeding on the part of the lady. Okay. The third one is that if this abortion is done through a quack doctor, it can lead to the womb being perforated. So, and of course, it will later affect the woman and may prevent subsequent pregnancy or delivery of children. Okay. Also, it can also lead to tearing of the cervix. That is medically called cervical tear. So, which also has to do with the woman. And also, abortion, the danger in abortion can lead to what we know as adhesion. Adhesion is the coming together of the uterine, all the organs in the womb. So if it is not properly done, and you know, because of the reasons that people go through abortion, the one that is so pronounced, they make use of quack doctors. And in the event of carrying out these things, so many things can happen which can later endanger the life of the girl.
Hadia Muminaat, it's been a very interesting time out with you, I must say. Thank you for taking us through. From all those dangers that you have really pointed out, there seems not to be anyone that any sane person would want to venture into at all. It's obvious, viewers at home, for those that are watching us today, mothers, fathers, children, the boys, the girls, the man, the woman, everybody is concerned. You really need to take care of it. Tell somebody today, pass the message. Islam is against such acts that would lead to zina or anything at all that will bring about dangers to your life. Your life is very important to the society, it's very important to Islam. As in as much as the fact that abortion is allowed when you really have a concrete reason to do so. In as much as that, safeguard your future. Lay a very beautiful plan for yourself. And remember that this is the program, The Virtuous Woman. We always tell you the truth and nothing but the truth. Join us same time, same station tomorrow. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Thank you for coming around. We really appreciate it.
Today you become man and wife, fulfilling the sunnah as way of life. Today you'll find serenity. May your life be filled with sincerity. There is no happier day in your life than the virtue of being man and wife. There's joy without any end. Allah's blessing on this day does descend.